We are so excited to be a part of the African American Network, y'all. And again, they have a local feel with a global reach. So make sure you check us out. And again, as we always say, stay creative. Now let's check out the next episode. All right, guys. So I'm super excited about today because I feel like alignment is something that I've been praying about for so long. And we took a couple of weeks off because we really just wanted to recenter ourselves. And you guys have been sending us so many emails like, oh my gosh, what's next? What's next? And I could not come back without somebody. How do I even say this? Somebody that has the biggest heart in the world. When I say the world, someone that has over 25 years, 25 years in the industry, born on August 20th in Austin, Texas. Everybody, put your hands and your ears together for none other than the amazing, the icon. I'm going to call him the icon, Ty Hunter.
Aw, thank you. I get to take you and let you do this intro every time I go somewhere. Thank you.
Absolutely. Listen, when I tell you, when I do intros, everybody, after we finish, our interview, everybody's like, let me tell you something. That intro, though?
It's true.
Right. So before we get started, we mentioned it a second ago, but first of all, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It's a blessing. I'm 51 years old.
50. Let the people know you look 23. Stop playing.
I'm 51 of one.
Listen, so how did you celebrate your birthday? This is a two-part question. How did you celebrate your birthday, and how has 2023 been for you so far?
Okay, so I celebrated my birthday. Everybody moved to LA. Of course, I live in New York. And all of my friends and family and people that are close to me, everybody moved to Los Angeles within the last couple of years. And I tried to move there I stayed there for 3 years, and I was like, this is not for me. Give me back to the realness. And I moved back to New York. The weather was good, but the energy is off for me. But all of my people are there. They love it. They're thriving. It works for them. I'm just not motivated in LA. It made me lazy and not want to do anything but smoke.
Come on, Todd, not smoke now. No.
So I was like, let me get out of here and get back to work. But yeah. So whenever I have my party, my birthday or things like that, instead of making everybody come to me, I just go to LA. So I celebrated my birthday in LA with all of my friends and loved ones. We had a party. Legendary Damon had a party for me at the
Shout out to Legendary Damon.
Yeah, that's my brother. And
I love it.
So we just partied. All of my friends, people traveled from all around, and it was so much fun. And then on my actual birthday, the hurricane, it became a tropical storm. It hit on my birthday. Wow. Thank God I had my party on the 18th, but my birthday is on the 20th. And while I'm sitting in the hotel while the storm was there, it was an earthquake on my birthday in LA. So I was like, this is why I don't like this place. But when I moved to LA, the day I moved to LA, I get into my condo and I'm like still unboxing things, and it was an earthquake on that day. So I never felt home in earthquake with Los Angeles. I was like, okay, girl, you don't like me, I don't like you. I'm gonna leave when I get a chance. But then the pandemic happened, so I ended up being there the whole time of the pandemic, and I ended up leaving. Okay, as far as 2023, it's been, a lot of ups and downs, trials and tribulations, but that's a part of life. And it's really helping me learn who I am in the storm. Going through storms, I make it a point to just like, okay, Lord, you putting me through this because I'm built for it, but what am I supposed to learn in this to get out of it? So a lot of great things are happening, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, and I have to say, if you look at your story, I mean, I was able to read your book probably a few months ago, and I think I was able to pull excerpts out that really applied to my life, and I saw a lot of alignment even before I thought about, seeing if we could get you on the show. And when you look at your trajectory, when you look at your story, over 25 years in the fashion industry, I mean, you've had an amazing, creative, long resume, which has had footprints alongside Destiny's Child and Beyonce and Billy Porter. But I mean, honestly, if that's not enough, you have decided to write a book. And
Mm-hmm.
it focuses really on the personal empowerment. I mean, even when we see, you know, I call them what's the old school when you're writing like these little sticky notes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I look at
Yes.
that every time I see your Instagram, and it's kind of like these little personalized quotes that are like needed and necessary for today and everything that we're experiencing. If you think about, I want to do something totally different. And when we thought about getting you on the show, I said, you know what? I want to try it with him. I'm actually going to go backwards. And
Okay.
this is something I've never, ever done. We've had over 200 shows. And Ty, when I tell you, we asked this question at the end, but this time I
Mm-hmm.
want to ask it at the beginning.
Okay.
Ty, like, wait, what's happening? What we doing? After all of the books that you will write and all of the legacy that you will leave to your beautiful child, and in
Mm-hmm.
addition to all of the footprints and the people that you have been able to style and work with in your life, and you'll have the opportunity to speak on so many stages, Ty, and touch so many people's spirit and soul. What do you want your legacy to be?
I want it to impact people in a positive way and let them know that they can do anything that they want to. And, I have, growing up a country boy from Texas, I had a dream and when you live in Los Angeles and New York, as far as America and even Miami,
Mm,
everything is right there. Like you can
yeah.
touch it, celebrity and all those kind of things. And being a little country boy in Austin, Texas, I had a vision and a dream, and I just kept going. And even though, it's crazy how God placed me in a place where my talents were all used. Because when I started working with Destiny's Child, thought I wanted to be a hairdresser before I started working with them. So I did everybody's hair growing up, and my family made me hate doing hair because they would call me anytime I couldn't do a weave or cut 3 in the morning. I'm cut drug dealers' hair. It just became a thing where I was like, I hate hair. So, but I got placed with Miss Tina, seeing something in me, and I was able to create. And I always loved fashion. I was best dressed in school, and I love playing with fashion. And I just never looked at those type of things as something to get paid,
Mm,
And so to be able to be placed where I can be able to my passion is there, and since to get paid for your passion,
right.
that was a blessing in itself. But I definitely want people to know that you can do anything, and you just got to believe in yourself and keep going and have faith. And I know that's something we hear all the time, but you really have to stick to it and believe it and see it and start visualizing yourself there, and the things you want to do, and learn to be alone. It was
Mm.
something that I had
Say,
to learn to
hold on. Say that again, please, because people don't hear
learn
that in the back. Say it, Ty. Say it
learn
again, baby. Come on.
learn to be alone. Learning to be alone really taught me to learn more about myself. And, I learned that I'm complete already by myself. So
Ooh.
when I add anything or anyone to my life, it's just a side item because
Mm. Come on, it's an add-on. It's an add-on, Ty. Come on. Ooh. Oh my
yeah.
God. So with us moving forward, we always have to go back and look at the story. Born on
Mm-hmm.
August 20th, happy belated.
Thank you.
If you go back and just think about your childhood, I mean, you have a lot of the book with a little bit of a highlight of more of a memoir and then also empowerment messages and et cetera. But if you could go back and look at your childhood, what would you describe a perfect day when you were young?
A perfect day when I was young was literally hanging with my godmother, my great grandmother, or my mother, and my grandmother. I loved my comfort zone was the women
Mm,
who shaped me. That's why I gave them my whole first chapter is like a tribute to them, the women who shaped me, because they were my comfort zone, and they allowed me to be myself. And I knew that I could literally just they pretty much let me do whatever I wanted to do. So I was just a sponge of these women just allowing me to be free and allowing me to love on them and them love on me. And I used to just stare at my mom get dressed and my aunt, my godmother, I call her aunt as as well. But just staring at them getting dressed because they was so fly, and they would like copy some of the things that Natalie Cole would do, and like we would watch TV and then they would go do their hair like that, like immediately. And so it was just like fun and just soaking up all of that with them. And then, as far as the men in my life, my uncles and all that, they allowed me to be myself too. It's so crazy because I am gay, but as I wrote my book, because I've never been in therapy or anything like that, so writing my book was my therapy, and just learning why things were the way they were and why things didn't work out because something greater was coming later. And so, it's just a blessing to have a loving family to love me unconditionally and support me.
Listen,
and allow me to be myself.
Well, and that's the
Because
thing.
a lot of my friends didn't have that.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say. And I think that's what we pulled away from your book is that you got the love, right? You were able to receive it. And a lot of people look at their own personal lives and say, well, as a child, I was shunned, or, no one accepted me because of my sexuality, or because I was black, or because I was a male, or whatever the case is. And I have to say, people really do look at your story and they look at you and they see a humble person. They really do see someone that has a heart of gold and a person that has gone through the storm and is really pushing through. What did you think your life would be like when you had gotten older?
To be honest with you, I learned to quit trying to envision how I think things was going to be or should be, and just allow the higher powers and the energies and the ancestors to do their thing. Because, we might have it in our head how we want it to be, and trust me, it remixes on you so much to where I learned to just pray and let go and just really allow the higher powers to do their thing, because I never thought that I would do half of the majority of the things that I have accomplished, from being part of, President Obama's My Brother Keeper initiative to creating, designing clothes and having billboards in Times Square. Just a mountain of blessings that have poured in. You have this vision for yourself, and God surpassed my vision for myself. So I've learned to get excited for fear and anxiety of things, because I know once I get over that hump, there's something greater on the other side. So it's so scary because I really get excited when I'm afraid of something.
Really?
As weird as that may sound, because through my faith and belief, I always envision and know that there's something better on the other side. And so I just continue to put out what I want to receive. And I don't always get it. I always say that, but I do put out what I want to receive. And so it's amazing how, people who try to hurt you they'll come back around and help you. Your enemies really become your footstool.
When you look at your family, what are you most proud of?
The thing I'm most proud of my family is our bond. I mean, I have friends and they're not even talking to their mothers or fathers, that just don't have good relationships with their siblings. But I am blessed to have the Hunter family. The bond we have a family group text with all of us on there, and we just kind of keep up with each other. And once my grandmother passed, of course, the grandmother is the
matriarch, baby. That's oof.
She's the foundation that keeps everybody together. But when she passed, it kind of trickled a little bit for the holidays and stuff. But we rebuilt eventually, and I'm just proud of my family and the accomplishments that everybody is, knocking down, and the goals that everybody they're achieving. And it's just a good family. I'm so proud of all of my little cousins that are all bigger than me now.
Let's talk about makeover from within, lessons in hardship, acceptance, and self-discovery. And when I read the book, honestly, it really, for me specifically, it was a mix of really a memoir, motivation, and really a lot of wisdom. And you can really tell as you comb through this book You really do get to see a lot of pieces of who you are, what you've experienced, what you've gone through, and the lessons you have learned, and the lessons that you are learning.
Hmm.
My first question is, what part of the book did you have the hardest time writing?
I would definitely have to say, just talking about my father. My father and my mother were both diagnosed with cancer at the same time.
Oh, wow.
And my mom still has cancer, breast cancer. She just had chemo yesterday.
Sending
Um,
prayers to mom.
thank you. Just that part and just learning more about, because my dad and I, we had a relationship, but it wasn't as close as, you know, my dad's in sports. He's a real man. Sports. And, and the funny thing is, I'm not going to lie, my mom is a sports person. I don't know why I hate sports, but
Look, Ty
you can
said it didn't
ask.
even hit him. Ty was like, it went over my head. It went to
My
them, and we
brother,
kept
my
moving.
mom, and my brother, my mom, and my dad were all they are all sports people. But my dad took me to Donna Ross concert when I was a kid, and that didn't make like that was the best time. And writing this book made me understand that was his moment of trying to connect with me and show me love in a special way. And because of that concert and this that's I was like 11, it sparked me to love fashion and to love women even more, in the glamorous part, because Diana Ross concert, the hair, the feathers, and the
Mm-hmm.
sequin and the rhinestones and all that, I was in awe. And so my love for fashion really started there. And so just learning that in the process of writing the book, I just started crying because it didn't make sense to me that, this straight man taking his son to Diana Ross, and I bet you we were the only son and father at this concert. But it was such a beautiful thing, and it really touched me, and it really made me learn why the moves were made, and for me to become who I am today.
This is actually, you made me think about something. And this is not a question that I had already written down and thought about. But as you were talking, I think about a lot on how much of an impact our fathers are in our lives.
Hmm.
What's one lesson he taught you?
Um,
Many lessons, probably, but what's that one lesson that you can remember that he taught you?
stand up straight.
Never mind. Why stand up straight, Ty?
No, because I used to slouch over a lot, and he really. I know it's as crazy as it sounds, but being taller, I used to slouch over, and I was already so skinny and slouched over, and he really taught me to focus on my posture. Another thing is, my dad. He's so like make your bed. Like he was such a uh, I don't know how to put this to words, but I've learned a lot from my dad. And like I said, our relationship wasn't as tight as it was with him and my brother because of me not into sports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But our bond, when my dad was in the bed at the hospital, I stayed by his side for 3 to 4 months. I never left his side. I stayed at the hospital, and I learned so much more about him, because my mom, when I told her that I thought I was gay or whatever, she asked me not to tell my brother or my father. And so those were the things that I dealt with, of just not communicating that with him. And when he was on his deathbed, he pretty much let me know that he knew and he loved me.
Oh,
And
wow.
so taking that, that's the one thing that me and my dad and my boyfriend at the time, he hugged him, and he really just let me know that he loved me unconditional. So that I cherish that more than anything.
I love that. Getting back to your book, Makeover from Within: Lessons in Hardship, Acceptance, and Self Discovery. When you were in the moment of writing this book, did you view writing as a kind of spiritual practice? Or what was your takeaway as you were in the midst of, you know what, I'm writing, these chapters are coming out, I'm finishing this, I'm finishing this. Were you in a spiritual place?
I was in a place of just really trying to find myself and find out what was next. All of this would happen before the pandemic, but I really completed my book during the pandemic. And I wrote my book with Isla Mel, who wrote Project Runway.
Okay.
And we literally would get on Zoom calls and write together. And there would be days where I would just be crying because, again, I didn't go through therapy. I've never been in therapy. And this was my therapy session and just learning a lot about my family and a lot about myself. And so I would definitely say it was spiritual and it was enlightening.
I want to get into some questions from our Q&A. And, when our team heard that you were going to be on the show, of course, they were excited because they were like, oh my God, I've met him before. Oh my God, he's so nice, And so it was so cute to really see the response of what people have said about you that have met you throughout the years, and have really just seen kind of your growth. And they wanted to go directly into the fashion question. So the first question comes from Tiffany, and Tiffany is out of Chicago. Her question is, Ty, how do you define fashion?
I define fashion as, I believe in if I'm good with it, when I look in the mirror, that's the only okay I need and keep it moving and push through. I think a lot of people take fashion way too serious, and I believe you have to just don't worry about what the next man have to say. You got to go with how you feel. If it makes you feel good, go for it. And fashion to me isn't about the clothes. It's about the confidence you have in yourself. And I always talk about we're not born with clothes on. Your first outfit is your skin. And so until you get right in that outfit, you won't be right in any other outfit.
Come on. We did not know that you was going to start doing this to us today. Ty, come on. We're not doing that. Nope. Next
That's
question.
how it is. That's why it's not about the clothes, it's about the confidence. So the people that you want to look up to and emulate is they walk in those carpets through confidence. And you could tell who's not confident. And me being a stylist, I do love when we didn't really have stylists, when people could show their individual style. Like, what do you feel like? Who are you? And it displayed who your character, you know what I mean? And now we're living at a time where, I got look number 3 Givenchy, they throw this on. And it's like, she get out there and she's not comfortable because she don't, I believe in finding out through my client what their insecurities are, what they like, it's a process. And I don't believe in just saying, put this on because it's the hot look.
Next question. The next question comes from Brandon. He's out of Miami. Shout out to Miami, huge fan base. Ty, can you describe a lesson that you learned as you worked with your previous clients?
A lesson that I learned from my previous clients. I would definitely say just learning to allow them to be part of the process. Again, most stylists just come with the height. Our goal is to find the hottest stuff out there and just come throw it on you. But at the same time, I literally believe in letting them be part of the process. How do you feel? Do you want to feel sexy? Do you want to feel like a goddess? Do you want to feel like it's a whole process? And just learning that it's not about me, it's about them. A lot of stylists are just like, at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about you. How do you feel? This is your brand. You're walking out there stepping. You hired me for this. And I just think we've shunned away from that. I feel like the stylists are the celebrities as well, which is not a bad thing. But at the same time, you have to know that this is about your client. This is their moment.
The last question, because we only wanted to pull 3 because the list went crazy. It was about your own personal style, and this came from London, out of Los Angeles. And London asked, Ty, how would you describe your own personal brand aesthetics?
I am a thrifter. Like, I stay in vintage, like thrift. I don't believe in spending a lot of money on clothes. I believe in spending money on other things like a trip or a vacation or just, helping my mom or my daughter. So I am cheap when it comes to clothes. Now, if I want a hot look, I'll go pull that girl and return her.
I love you so much. Keep going.
But I
Oh my
don't
God.
know, because it's not about the price. It's just about how you feel and how you throw things on.
Yeah,
I made it a point, like for Fashion Week, a couple of years in a row. I was like, I'm wearing $25 a day, and and I made best dress on a lot of things. So it's just about to create. How do you feel? What do you want to? What I don't believe in spending a lot of money on clothes. Unfortunately, I'm just not that guy.
No, I love it. And I think as I've gotten older, I think in life, your priorities hopefully are supposed to change and shift and make sure that you are putting the right things, in the right playing field. But I think to your point, a lot of people really do have to look at you and your life and the things that you have accomplished and say, you know what? I can still shift and adjust, and I don't have to wear the hottest thing out here on the runway. I can still look good in my Zara and H&M and still feel fly.
Yes,
So,
yes.
just
And I
saying.
like thrifting even more because you don't have to worry about somebody having your look on. I don't like trendy stuff. I
Yeah.
don't like, if everybody got it, I don't want it.
Listen, I threw a vintage old school Gucci piece on the other day, and people were looking at me like, wait, is that the new? No, this is old, old, old. And I think I got that from somebody's vintage closet at that point. And I was like, here it is, back up. So
Yes. Now, toiletries, I know my money goes on skincare.
there you go. Listen,
And
hold on. I don't know if you saw this man's face, y'all. The skin is clear as water. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
skincare and, a good trip or food. You know, that's my weakness. But
As
clothes, not.
as we get ready to wrap our show, last year we curated the end of our episode to more of a therapy session. So we call this the therapy moment. And I love these questions because it really does make you think about just like your own personal life and things, how you've really just built yourself or continuing to build yourself to a next level. So, Ty, what is your biggest fear in life?
Hmm. Just, it happens and it's a part of life. Just losing loved ones.
Mm.
You know, I know it happens, and my fear is just not having every pebble unturned, like every question that I need. Like, then I've learned that with the passing of my father. Just ask every single question that you want to learn because you have to learn about yourself. So it's okay to just ask all those questions to loved ones, and so you learn more about yourself. I know that
Yeah.
sounds,
No, it does.
but
It makes
that's
sense.
it.
No, it makes sense. What makes you angry?
It takes a lot to get me angry, and I'm just being honest. That's people get mad at me, even so I can't keep a relationship because I don't do it. Something that might be small to them, like big to them, is small. Like I don't trip. Like
Yeah, life is short, man.
his life is so short. So no, I don't know.
I love it. What is your proudest accomplishment so far?
My proudest accomplishment definitely is my daughter.
Beautiful. Ugh. What makes you laugh?
Friends, silly, being silly. I am really, 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 really a comedian. And those that are close to me would let you know that. But definitely just hanging out with friends, reminiscing over old times. Give me a good old school. I love some more. Some comedy. Like,
Let me tell you something. Pause. Do you know I just watched a comedy special with? It was amazing.
yeah, she is a fool.
She was a fool. This was the one I believe in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, fantastic. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I love it.
But like, I just love Black women comedians.
Yeah.
They just take it there. I love T.S. Madison too.
Shout out to Maddie. I love
That's the key.
it.
She's the
Whole
key.
key.
Hmm.
Last two questions. What is your favorite or most favorite thing about your career?
My most favorite thing about my career, that's a good question. My most favorite thing about my career is starting before social media, before basically the phone. We just started getting, like, we were on Skyway two-way pages when I started. My most favorite thing about my career is being thrown in the fire and having to learn about the career, about what I do behind this, like, before, because when I started, we weren't able to pull clothes. We had to make them. You know what I mean? Miss Tina had to sketch, and we would go to fabric stores, and all those things that seemed like a lot at the time was a blessing, because when now I'm styling, I know fabrics. I know, from the what people need for performance versus a red carpet, what you need for editorial, what looks right. So just being able to start from the ground and build up versus being like, I didn't have star.com, I didn't have Google, so I had to really create. And so that was a blessing.
You better tell them people you had Tie Light. Okay. Y'all sleeping on it. If y'all don't know what Tie Light is, you better Google it. That part. My last question, Ty, who is your hero?
I would say my mom. I would say Miss Tina definitely is a hero. I call her other mother. So my mom, who created me, and Miss Tina, who took a chance on me and allowed me to be placed in a place to use my God-given talent. And, there's so many people play in this world, and she chose me. And I'll forever be grateful for Miss Tina Knowles.
Ty, we are grateful for you. Ty Hunter, we are grateful for your story and your footprint in this industry. And I just want to thank you. I created the Jamir Smith Show to give people their flowers while they're here, but also to interview creatives to make sure that we told their stories. And you have an amazing story that you're still writing. And I want everybody to make sure that they purchase Makeover from Within. And in addition to, I just want to thank you just for you being you.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have any last words, any last comments, anything for your new listeners, your additional listeners, or your listeners that follow you and have loved you for so long? Any last words?
I just want to say thank you, guys, and I love you. Follow me on any of my platforms at Tryone, TYTRYONE. A lot of people think it's Tyrone. It should have been.
Everybody thinks that.
But try one, and try one, meaning try one, get my book. I promise you, it's a great purchase. It's very motivational, uplifting. It's my story, and if you follow me on social media, you already know that I'm a fool. But my page is a getaway. It's an escape to make you feel better. You're either gonna laugh or be motivated, or just be like, "This boy is crazy."
Look, I'm going to go with the latter. He is crazy, but he is amazing, y'all. And I love it. And make sure you follow his website. Again, it's tytry1.com. And you can find out all of the most current information that he has going on, purchasing the book and all of his past, amazing footprints that he has done in this world. And Ty Hunter, I just want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your service. And thank you for being a part of the Jamir Smith Show.
And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And as we always say, guys, at the end of the show, stay positive, but stay creative until next time. Thank you for tuning in.